5 days. That's how long the Stanford Neuromodulation Therapy protocol takes. And in a small trial, almost 80% of patients with treatment-resistant depression met remission criteria. The question is whether that result holds up in routine practice. Standard TMS for treatment-resistant depression works in concept, but the timeline kills it. Conventional TMS is 6 to 9 weeks, roughly 36 clinic visits. Insurance pre-authorization, daily commute, time off work dropout is real. So the clinical question becomes, can we deliver TMS fast enough for patients to actually finish? Here is the Stanford pitch. SNT, Stanford Neuromodulation Therapy, formerly SAINT. 10 sessions per day for 5 consecutive days. Each session is about 10 minutes of theta-burst stimulation. Total 90,000 pulses. The accelerated schedule is the structural innovation. Here is what makes SNT more sophisticated than standard TMS. Most protocols target the left DLPFC with a 5 centimeter rule. SNT uses a resting state fMRI scan to find the specific left DLPFC region most anticorrelated with the subgenual anterior cingulate cortex. Each patient gets a personalized target based on their own brain map. Here is the result. In 2022, Stanford published a sham-controlled double-blind trial in the American Journal of Psychiatry. 29 modified ITT participants, 14 active, 15 sham. Mean MADRS reduction at 4 weeks, 52.5% active versus 11.1% sham. Earlier, the same group published an open-label protocol in 2020-21 patients, roughly 90% remission at 5 days. The 80%-ish headline is the average of those two results. SNT received FDA Breakthrough Device designation, then a 510(k) clearance as K220177 in September 2022, the Magnus Neuromodulation System with SAINT technology. Magnus Medical was co-founded by Nolan Williams. The trial PI commercial launch was April 2024. The device label is narrow. Treatment-resistant, MDD-only patients who failed prior antidepressant medication in the current episode. Here is the catch. The pivotal trial was single-site Stanford with 29 patients. No large multicenter Phase 3 in treatment-resistant MDD yet. The closest independent signal is a 20-patient Singapore open-label preprint, 70% response overall, 83% in trial-eligible patients. Encouraging, but not yet peer-reviewed. A DoD-funded postpartum depression trial enrolled its first patient February 2026. Phase 3 is coming, but not here yet. Here is the part the marketing does not lead with. A complete SAINT protocol runs around $19,703 at CMS rates, $3,750 per day for 5 days, plus a $950 targeting fee. CMS approved this in 2025 and preserved it for 2026. Private payer coverage is plan-by-plan variable. The protocol requires MRI compatibility. Providers are concentrated at academic medical centers. Rural, uninsured, non-Medicare patients have limited access. That is the equity gap. So who is a reasonable referral today? An adult, 22 to 80, who meets treatment-resistant MDD criteria, failed at least one adequate antidepressant trial in the current episode, and who is MRI compatible. Expect a 5-day commitment, sometimes up to 10 hours a day. Side effects in trials: headache, fatigue, scalp discomfort. Seizure risk is low but real and is covered in informed consent. Ask the clinic about coverage, prior authorization, and the plan if remission is partial at the end of 5 days. Bottom line, Stanford SNT is a real research result. Roughly 90% remission in 21 patients in the 2020 open label. 52.5% MADRS reduction in the 2022 RCT FDA cleared, commercially launched, Medicare covers it. The data I want before calling this standard of care. A peer-reviewed large multicenter, Phase 3, independent replications, 12-month durability, are still in progress. For my patient who asks tomorrow, it is real. Refer if they are a candidate. The next few years will tell us if 90% holds at scale. Questions or episode ideas? Drop them below and subscribe for more psychopharmacology breakdowns. Educational purposes only, not a substitute for clinical judgment.